Breaking news, people. Hold on to your wigs, your lace fronts, and your emotional stability, because what went down backstage at the Love and Hip Hop reunion makes every previous scandal look like a kindergarten talent show. Cameras were rolling, mics were hot, and egos, BABY, they were flaming like a $10,000 Birkin bonfire. Mendeecees and Yandy, the so-called royal couple of reality TV, didn't just argue, they detonated. Think fireworks, think World War III, think Beyoncé's ring, the alarm energy meets a tax audit. But wait, what really happened when the cameras stopped? Who threw the first shade? Who walked off, who cried, and who accidentally leaked those texts that should have never seen daylight? Anonymous insiders are calling it the most chaotic meltdown in VH1 history. And that's saying a lot, considering this show once featured someone getting hit with a prosthetic leg. So grab your popcorn, your prayer oil, and your burner Twitter account, because we're diving deep into the explosive backstage war that left producers screaming, fans spiraling, and Love and Hip Hop's reputation hanging by an acrylic nail. Let's unpack the mess. It all started the way every explosive Love and Hip Hop moment does, quietly at first, the calm before a very public storm. Mendeecees and Yandy walked into the reunion taping like royalty, or at least the kind of royalty that owes half its crown to a reality TV contract. For years, they had been the couple everyone pointed to as proof that the show wasn't all chaos and wigs flying that somewhere. Beneath the manufactured drama, there was genuine love. But people close to them say that cracks had been forming long before the cameras rolled, that what looked like partnership on screen had turned into silent competition off-screen. Yandy was building her empire: sponsorships, brand deals, new management ventures. Mendeecees was trying to find his place after coming home from prison and realizing the world had moved on without him. Pride is a dangerous thing, especially when there's a camera pointed straight at it. Insiders whisper that things started feeling off weeks before the reunion, that a secret meeting between Yandy and producers left Mendeecees uneasy. There were murmurs of a spin-off centered around Yandy alone, something he reportedly found out about through a blog post, not from her. By the time reunion day arrived, the tension was already choking the air. Witnesses say the energy backstage felt different, like everyone knew something was coming. Makeup artists were on edge, security had been doubled, and producers had a nervous excitement that only comes when chaos might equal ratings gold. Mendeecees showed up late, wearing that calm before the storm look people get when they've already decided to stop pretending. Yandy was already in the green room, surrounded by assistants, glam squad, and a ring light glowing like a halo of ambition. One source says Mendeecees barely greeted her before muttering something about respect. Another says Yandy ignored him completely, choosing instead to fix her lip gloss while scrolling through her phone. Then it started. A comment here, a sarcastic reply there. The kind of verbal dance only to people who know each other's weaknesses can perform. Someone mentioned loyalty, and that was it. Yandy shot back that loyalty was a two-way street, not a one-way ticket to guilt trips. Mendeecees laughed. Not the funny kind, the dangerous kind. People in the room say it felt like watching a volcano argue with an earthquake about who was louder. Then the argument shifted gears from personal to professional. Mendeecees accused her of leaving him out of major business deals and of being more loyal to her brand than her marriage. Yandy countered with receipts, literal receipts, screenshots, contracts, and emails proving she had kept him in the loop. But the proof didn't matter, because this wasn't about contracts, it was about control. Cameras that were supposed to be off suddenly flicked back on because no producer in the world could resist what was happening. Voices rose, hands gestured, someone knocked over a tray of catered sushi, and a boom mic caught every syllable. Then came the sentence that would echo through gossip blogs for weeks. Yandy said he stopped being her partner the moment he started seeing her success as competition. The room froze. Mendeecees replied that he did time for her and came home to find she turned their struggle into her solo story. It was the kind of line that doesn't end an argument, it ends a peace treaty. The shouting started again. Crew members moved in. Someone screamed to cut the feed, but the damage was already done. The moment security stepped between them, the entire room, turned into a circus of whispers and flashing phones. Because on a set like love and hip-hop drama never stays private for long. Someone claimed a stagehand was secretly recording everything on their phone while pretending to fix a light. Within hours, clips started surfacing online, and before the reunion episode could even wrap, fans were already dissecting every scream and side-eye in slow motion. Twitter was on fire, Instagram comment sections looked like war zones, and everyone suddenly became an expert in celebrity relationships. Anonymous blogs started publishing so-called insider leaks that painted completely different versions of what had happened. One blog claimed Yandy had thrown a drink. Another insisted Mendeecees had slammed a chair against the wall, while someone else swore the producers had planned the entire explosion to save the show's declining ratings. The internet didn't care which version was true. They just wanted a new scandal to feed on, and this one was juicy. An unverified text thread appeared, supposedly between a network executive and an unknown assistant, detailing how Yandy's secret solo project had caused a full-scale feud behind the scenes. The text messages read like a script from a telenovela, full of betrayal deals gone wrong and threats to go public if contracts weren't rewritten. Fans believed it because the timing was too perfect, and because everyone loves a downfall, especially when it involves people who look like they have it all. Then came the fake investigative reports, the kind that show up from nowhere but sound official enough to make headlines. One of them accused Mendeecees of funneling money through a fake charity to cover private expenses. Another claimed Yandy was using her management company to control cast members' storylines. Neither story had proof, but both had screenshots and anonymous friends of the couple. Willing to spill every detail for a little attention, YouTube channels and TikTok pages turned it into a content goldmine, each creator adding a twist, a theory, a sarcastic comment until the truth was buried under layers of entertainment. Somewhere in the middle of it all, a voice note leaked that supposedly captured Yandy crying on the phone, telling someone she was done with the show and ready to expose everything. Whether it was real or edited didn't matter. The public already believed it. Mendeecees went silent for a few days, and that silence was louder than any post could have been. Every time he didn't respond, fans took it as guilt. Every time Yandy posted something motivational, people said it was shade. The producers of the show tried to issue a statement about privacy and professionalism, but it only made things worse because by now viewers smelled blood and reality. TV audiences never let go once they do. In a matter of days, what started as an argument in a green room had become a full-scale internet trial with millions of self-appointed jurors deciding who was right, who was fake, and who would crumble first. By the time the dust started to settle, the damage was already spreading far beyond the studio walls, and what had once been a private argument now had its own trending hashtag. The network executives were holding emergency meetings, trying to figure out if they should cut the footage or air it for ratings, because either decision could backfire. Lawyers began showing up on set, reviewing contracts line by line to see who had violated what, and whispers started about potential lawsuits over defamation and breach of confidentiality. Yandy was spotted leaving her apartment with her phone pressed to her ear, wearing sunglasses even though it was cloudy, while reporters followed her like vultures waiting for a quote. Mendeecees, on the other hand, seemed to disappear completely. No posts, no statements, no appearances, just silence that the media filled with speculation about everything from therapy sessions to secret deals with rival networks. Fake legal documents started circulating online, claiming both of them were under investigation for financial misconduct, and although everyone knew it looked suspicious, the idea of a real scandal was too tempting to ignore. Fans who had spent years defending them suddenly turned into critics, digging up old clips where Yandy had looked annoyed, or Mendeecees had rolled his eyes and declaring that the signs were there all along. Brands quietly began to pull back sponsorships, claiming they wanted to wait until the situation cleared up, which was another way of saying they did not want to be part of the mess. Even other cast members started to weigh in, dropping cryptic comments that sounded supportive but only added more confusion. Some claimed producers had promised bonuses if they could get Yandy to react on camera. Others said Mendeecees had been fed false information to make him snap. It was a maze of half-truths, and everyone was playing the role of victim or villain depending on who was telling the story. Then came the biggest twist of all, when an anonymous insider leaked what they called the full, unedited footage of the backstage blow-up to a gossip page with millions of followers. The video showed everything from the first argument to the final meltdown, and within hours it had been downloaded, mirrored, and shared across every corner of social media. The public could finally see the raw emotion, and instead of calming things down, it only made the fire spread faster. People argued over who was to blame, some claiming Yandy had provoked him, others insisting Mendeecees had lost control, but nobody could look away. The footage even caught producers in the background trying to keep cameras rolling despite Yandy begging them to stop, which turned the audience's anger toward the network itself. Rumors of an internal investigation began to swirl, with reports of executives stepping down and sponsors threatening to pull out if the show did not address the chaos. By the end of the week, what started as an argument between two people had snowballed into a full corporate crisis, with publicists scrambling to control the narrative and fans demanding justice as if they were part of the story themselves. So, now that you've heard every shocking detail, every whisper, every leaked moment of chaos, the question isn't what happened, what comes next? Was this the ultimate downfall of a once unbreakable couple, or the birth of a brand new era built on truth, pain, and survival? Because let's be real, in the world of love and hip-hop, no scandal ever stays buried for long. There's always another twist waiting behind the curtain, another voice note ready to leak, another betrayal caught on camera. But what do you think? Was Yandy finally justified in standing up for herself after years of playing the loyal partner? Or did Mendeecees have every right to call her out for turning their love into a business deal? Are we witnessing heartbreak or a masterclass in rebranding? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation isn't ending anytime soon. Make sure you like this video if you believe in second chances, and subscribe with notifications on, because the next revelation could drop any minute, and trust me, when it does, you'll want to be the first to know. The truth is only getting louder, and this story is far from over.